Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and it's time for your Saturday night delight. I hope you're all ready for your Geek Culture 411. It's me, it's Skip and Tosh. How you doing, buddy?
Man, doing much better today, Wes. I get to talk about some geek culture news with my geek brother from another mother. I got my Deadpool shirt on. I mean business. It's time to make the effing chimichangas, Wes. Let's do it.
Well, I'm glad you're here. We missed you last week. I think Doc did an admirable job filling in for you, but it just doesn't feel right without you. But I hope you're ready for your mostly coronavirus movie related news.
I am indeed, and let's jump into it. We might have the vaccine here. Just a couple of weeks ago, you called Venom writer Donny Cates out for hypocrisy. This week, he paid off all outstanding customer pull lists at Austin Books and Comics. Surely you can't find any fault in this, can you, Wes?
Well, first of all, I'm Gen X. I can find fault in anything. That is just my personality. But I will be honest here. I cannot find any fault in this. This is awesome. I don't know Donny Cates. I don't have really a negative impression of him. Other than on social media, I think he doesn't make a great accounting of himself at all times. But doing this is actually this is fantastic. When you see people on social media, you only see their words, and I believe that a man is not defined by his words. He's defined by his actions, and in this case, his actions are admirable. They're looking out for a comic shop in Austin, going in there, paying off all those pull lists, looking out for the customers, looking out for the local comic shop that could use the money right now as we're all in this economic crisis. Bravo, Donny Cates. No hard feelings. I saw that you blocked me on Twitter. I don't blame you. I was only trying to report the news, but good on you, buddy.
Yeah, I definitely look at it as a fantastic act. Also, for the people right now that may be going through, financial issues, only being able to access unemployment checks, the comic customers get their books. And then for the shop itself, who can't get that income from its customers because either A, it can't really be open yet, or, B, they're not able to get the money because the customers don't have it. I think that's pretty awesome that Donny Cates did that. And, throughout the various things that he's done, I'm not a big fan of his social media outbursts, and I'm sure there's a flip side to that. I've also seen tweets where, he's doing really cool things before this, but this is definitely something that put a little more stock in the Donny Cates bank for me. And overall, it was a positive thing for comic book fans, comic book customers, and the LCSs. So, Donny Cates, you get 2 extra lives in my book, my friend. Blicking.
Yeah. Here on Thinking Critical, we will definitely call out bad behavior, but we'll definitely spotlight good behavior as well because we want to be fair. Donny Cates is Donny, good guy this week, and we're all very happy about that. Now on to other economic fallout-related news associated with COVID-19. WWE announced the release of over 20 performers and producers, including Olympic gold medalist and WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle. Skip, who is WWE going to regret letting go of the most?
Oh, that's real tough. I just recently I watched a Wrestling Bios video on the Wrestling Bios YouTube channel, and Kurt Angle had a very, very interesting and awesome introduction and made a staple, in WWE history. Consummate professional, I would say, quick learner, incredible wrestler. But then you have all those people, in your staff that help the show go on, the people that maybe we don't always see, and they don't get, title shots and they don't get, spotlighted like that. So, and those are the people that people miss that we never even hear of. So it's going to be tough. I'll say overall, unfortunately, since we don't get to see those other people that make the show go on, I'll say Kurt Angle. It's just been such an incredible history of him being there in the WWE and a lot of the things that he's done. So I think his presence will definitely be missed. And I'm a little biased. My Christian name is Curtis, is Kurt. So from one Kurt to another, I'm hurting for him. But Wes, who do you think is going to be missed more?
Well, Kurt Angle won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck, Skip and Tosh. So he is a huge loss. Unfortunately, due to neck issues, obviously associated with that broken neck that he won that gold medal with, he had more neck issues while he was wrestling. He hasn't really been an in-ring performer as of late. He's kind of been more behind the scenes doing a lot of producer role stuff. So there's 3 wrestlers in there that I think that are in the running, and 2 of them are kind of a team. In TNA, Rockstar Spud and EC3 had one of the best programs I've ever seen in wrestling. Everything else about that show sucked, but those 2 guys were great. They had like magic chemistry together, and they were one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And the WWE actually got them both into the promotion at the same time. EC3 kept the name. Of course, Rockstar Spud became Drake Maverick, and basically it was a joke. And they never did anything with him, and it's just such a waste. And EC3 was never really my favorite wrestler, but he was certainly a funny performer. He had a lot of chemistry with Drake Maverick, and I do think that was a waste. But really, the only answer here is Rusev. I mean, Vladimir Rusev is just an awesome. Vladimir Rusev. I'm thinking of Putin. Alexander Rusev is a physical specimen. He was a world-class weightlifter. He's absolutely hilarious on the mic. He's got one of the most smoking hot women in the world is his wife, Lana. Of course, she's the WWE as well. Shockingly, they didn't fire the super attractive model lady, only her husband. But he got himself over with Rusev Day. I remember him on the Southpaw wrestling things where he was like a farmer or something. He was absolutely hilarious. And I always enjoyed his performances. He always somehow managed to get himself over, but it felt like WWE. It felt like Vince McMahon and the WWE always kind of held it against him when he would get over when he wasn't supposed to, and he never got his just due. And I just remember him riding a tank into WrestleMania to fight Kurt Angle, John Cena at WrestleMania, and you knew it was finally he was going to go over on John Cena. He was going to become a champion in the WWF or WWE, and he lost. And they never really gave him a shot after that, and it was too bad. So the answer is Rusev, but I do feel bad that all these people lost their jobs. This isn't the best circumstances to be losing your job. People can't wrestle right now. Basically all the indie shows have been canceled. Even the other promotions outside of AEW and WWE aren't running shows right now. MLW shut down, everything, PWG is shut down. So I believe also Ring of Honor and TNA as well. So nothing really for them to do. There's not really any money out there. So terrible timing, kind of heartless on WWE's part, to be completely honest. But I'm sorry, Rusev. You deserve better, sir.
Indeed. Well, out of the ring, off the top rope, we got Universal Studios Troll World Tour bypassed the theatrical release and debuted digitally for the first time. So it just went straight to digital, breaking records and sitting on the top spot of virtually every digital platform. Is this proof the industry can start to bypass the theatrical release, Wes?
Sort of. So it is certainly a proof of concept that a trailer to a pretty successful DreamWorks animation film with Justin Timberlake, Anna Kendrick, not the world's biggest pop stars or movie stars are in there. It probably wasn't going to make a ton of money to begin with, and it shattered records. I believe it was in its first week there was 10 times more downloads of this than Jurassic Park Fallen World, which was the record at the time for Universal. So that's a big deal. Those are huge numbers. I'm sure that they made some money. Would it have been more profitable with a theatrical release? I'm not sure. We could only speculate at this point, but certainly movies like a Black Widow, a Star Wars movie, these big tentpole, these big franchise movies that have the amazing CGI, the amazing sound effects, the sound quality with your Dolby Digital, and you want to see it in IMAX. Those movies still need to be released in theater because people want that fully immersive experience. A movie like, Trolls World Tour, more of a kid-friendly movie with probably a lot of original music, which probably does sound good in the theater. Probably not necessary for viewers. So I do think we're gonna see movie theaters become the home of the blockbuster only, and a lot of these movies like this are gonna just bypass it and move right on to digital and maybe just onto the platforms that they have. You know, Disney Plus, Netflix, the Peacock is coming out soon, HBO Max is coming soon, so there's a lot more opportunities. The theatrical release might not be necessary for everything.
Yeah, I agree. I think also if they give these movies more of a budget for the promotion and then watch their budget on the production side, don't produce it like it's going to theater, give it good production, keep the costs down, and then, like I said, just give it more of that promotion and that push. I could see it happening. I mean, they were charging what, $20 to rent it. So, it's not quite the $12 to, whatever, $18 a head that you would get when you take a family to the movies. But still, if they keep that in mind and then focus some of that budget on just promoting and getting the word out, I think this is a model that that can actually be sustainable. In this particular case, their budget was as if it were going to be released in theaters, obviously, because originally it was. So I think in the long run, I want to see if they end up like making money off of it at all. But if you want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. And I think Trolls World Tour might have been the broken egg that maybe didn't make it to the pan, or half of it made it to the pan, and it showed us, we can cook. Let's just make sure the rest of the eggs get to the pan. So I think so. And I mean, of course, we have to factor in the fact that a lot of people are home now with kids that, need to be entertained. They need to be able to turn something on for them for a little while and either watch it with them or occupy them. So there's a little more people hungry for something like this, and that would pay $20 just to rent a movie. But outside of that, I still think that I think they can keep the price close, maybe even keep the price right there, and like you said, bypass the movie theaters, and then maybe start to see a profit on stuff like this. And like you said, with all the other streaming services that are coming out, they are looking for content to be able to host and whatnot. So if they can get this exclusive and that exclusive and have the people come and watch it there first, I don't think $20 is too much to ask for a household, for a whole family to watch a movie. So let's see where it goes in the future, Wes.
It will be interesting. It's certainly a proof of concept for a movie that was a sequel to a somewhat big movie. So,
yep.
Keeping with the film industry, Skip, Disney furloughed non-essential personnel starting this week, and that included Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm staffers. Is this going to affect the MCU and Star Wars movie projects moving forward?
If it affects it at all, I think it'll be in a very minimal way. When you have a cash cow, you hire private security, you set up electrical fences with moats and electric eel and all that stuff to protect your cash cow, especially since they paid a pretty penny for it, and it's been one of the biggest things to bring them income. Not just the movies themselves, which matter, but the movies are a catalyst for all the merchandising and all that different stuff that the licensing for different things, characters showing up in video games and all this other stuff. So that brings them in revenue from multiple different streams. So they are probably looking to, carve around this big old Christmas ham that they call Marvel and the MCU, and make sure that not much really disrupts it, especially since the fact that we've heard the rumors, and maybe not so much rumors anymore, probably more confirmed, that they're having meetings with people. John Krasinski meeting likely virtually with Kevin Feige, and then we know that Sam Raimi is confirmed now to go ahead and replace Scott Derrickson as the director of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So they're still making moves. They're making sure that, their money and their attention is going to the MCU. The second that people can start to flock towards the movie theaters and whatnot more, they're looking to, and people can start working on movie sets more. They're looking to get everybody right back so they can continue building this MCU and ultimately, profiting off of it. But Wes, how much of an impact do you think furloughing the non-essential workers will have an impact on the MCU?
Well, the obviously the first things that we've seen is the MCU schedule has been adjusted, and Black Widow is now moved to the end of the year, and everything kind of dominoed and went back a little ways. So actually, the effects on the MCU as far as films isn't all that big, but when we go over to Disney Plus, like all those productions were being filmed and everything, and nothing was finished. So your Captain America: Winter Soldier, your WandaVision. All those MCU related projects that were going to go on to Disney Plus, those are the ones that are being affected. I think those are all going to get pushed back. I do believe that will catch up, and by 2022, all the projects that were supposed to be on Disney Plus will eventually get on there. But where we're really going to see this is in the marketing. A vast majority of the non-essential personnel that Disney released, or not released, they furloughed. They do plan on bringing them back. I believe. Or have to do with marketing. So we're going to see less commercials. We're going to see, less pop-up ads. When you're watching YouTube, you're going to see less, trailers for MCU, Star Wars stuff. Obviously, you wouldn't see Star Wars right now because there's no Star Wars films. But we are going to see less marketing material for these projects. And then I think once life returns to normal, we start getting some of these projects get back into production. We start getting release dates for these movies, and they get closer. We'll see the marketing again, but we're just not going to see very much marketing for the MCU and Star Wars, for the meantime. But other than that, I think it should be minimal, to be completely honest.
That's fair. I agree with you there. And sticking in to the House of the Mouse, Disney Plus released a new edited version of Splash on the streaming service. Disney CGI'd a crimped tail on Daryl Hannah's Madison, a mermaid. Is this more embarrassing than the new music Lucas added in Jabba's palace?
So this is a tough one, because if you see the CGI on Splash, they literally put a tail on her. And it's not a cool tail. It's not like a horse tail or something like that. There's just all of a sudden there's hair on her back where there was no hair on her back. I think it was supposed to mimic or maybe line up with her hair, which was actually very long in the film, but it doesn't at all. It sticks out like a sore thumb. In fact, it sticks out worse than anything that George Lucas did to his Star Wars films when he added all those extra scenes. But that music scene in Jabba's palace is pretty atrocious. Especially when you compare it to the original, which was classic. It's one of my more favorite scenes in that movie. So is it more embarrassing? I got to go with yes, because it looks so bad. It looks like something I could do, on my laptop with my very cheap, equipment, everything that I make my YouTube projects on, that certainly would never befit, something for Disney or Disney Plus. It's shocking that they would censor the movie, because it was PG to begin with. It's not like this was a rated R movie that they're preparing for the Disney audience. It was a PG film. It was a good film too. It's absolutely hilarious with Tom Hanks and John Candy in his prime. And the fact that they censored it to begin with is ridiculous, but the way they did it is absolutely embarrassing. And I'll go with yes, more embarrassing than Jabba's palace, the music scene number that George Lucas added that was awful.
Yeah, you can watch the clip and you can see it. It definitely looks like it was like, they were like, look, we're not going to be, we're just adding content here. We're not going to be releasing this. We're not going to be making money. So, hey, so-and-so, can you get your cousin who's taking video production classes at his community college? Can you tell him to pull out his laptop, use Adobe After Effects, and just slap a tail on Daryl Hannah? There's a little bit too much crevice right there, and we just need to cover that up a little bit. Appreciate it. And I don't even think that, I think they asked for it and was just like, yeah, and after you're done, go ahead and just, upload the file back to the servers and we're good to go. And I think that's it. No one proof watched this. I don't know. Maybe they thought that not that many people, were even going to pay attention, that people were just going to turn it on in the background. But I'm sorry.
It's the best scene of the movie.
I was about to
Come
say,
on.
Daryl Hannah is hot in that movie. So there's
She
no
was.
way. Like, her scenes are, I mean, granted, John Candy in his prime, I get it. And hey, love me some John Candy. But Daryl Hannah, any scene that she's in are the scenes that you want to make sure that you're not too busy. And yeah, they went ahead and just soiled all that real quick. So, or at least that scene. I don't get it. I mean, if you think that that people are gonna be offended by it, the kids that are watching this are probably still close to being in diapers. I mean, if you can see a baby booty when you're changing a diaper, why can't you see a Daryl Hannah booty when you watching this? I don't get it. I don't know. Hey, Disney, free the Daryl Hannah booty. That's all I gotta say. It's not
Perfect
hurting anybody.
in that movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, y'all. I don't know. I think they got something against mermaids. I don't know. Ariel's my favorite princess. I feel like there might be some mermaid hate going on. All I got to say is free the mermaids, free the Daryl Hannah backside.
Man, I'll tell you right this: if Disney Plus is going to put up Fast Times at Ridgemont High, that's it for me. I'll never use the service because they'll ruin one of the best moments of that movie too. Phoebe Cates, such a legend. The red bikini, absolutely.
Yeah, turned a lot of boys into men with that movie. That's for sure. Yeah, please Disney, stay away from Fast Times. Let Phoebe Cates. Don't get any ideas.
Don't fix
Disney
what
Plus.
was perfect.
Yeah,
it was perfect to begin with. Stay away from that stuff. Exactly. All right, Skip. Here's the last question. Boom Studios signed a new 2-year first look agreement with Netflix beginning in 2021. What Boom Studios comic do you think is perfect for streaming?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't read a lot of Boom personally. I mean, most of the Boom stuff that I read ends up being like the stuff that they licensed. Wes, I don't know. I don't know if there is one that I would actually go out of my way to watch on streaming. Is there a Boom Studios comic that you would? More of their newer stuff seems to be impressive than their older stuff, but I haven't read much of their newer stuff where some of like the creators that I like are actually going on there. What one do you think would be good?
All right, so they do have some great licensed out stuff. So you got the Whedonverse there with Angel, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Firefly. All those, of course, would be perfect, but those are owned by Disney. They certainly won't be going on Netflix anytime soon. You also have Go-Go Power Rangers, as well as Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They're certainly not going to put that on Netflix either. Right. Jim Henson's Dark Crystal already on Netflix. So there we go. They do have that one. Okay. So I want to do some original stuff. There's 2 comics that I think would be absolutely dynamite for a Netflix streaming show. One of them is James Tynion's Of Force, Something is Killing the Children, which is a very cool horror kind of action comic, but it's got a lot of kids being murdered. And I do mean a lot of kids being murdered and are getting eaten by a big monster. And that sounds expensive. It sounds like it would be a big production to have those monsters. And I don't know if everyone's wanting to watch kids get eaten in their streaming show, even though I think it would be dope as hell. So I'm going to settle on Red Mother. It's another horror genre book that that Boom Studios is doing. And it's a much more of a slow burn. And actually, if you read the comic book Red Mother, and it is very good, you can see that it is almost a proof of concept or a storyboard, if you will, for a streaming service. I believe that's the reason Red Mother was created to begin with. If it reads like it is a streaming show, so I guess that is my choice. Even though I think Something Is Killing the Children would be better, but I think the production budget would be too expensive. The body count of children too high. So I'm going to settle on Red Mother, which is a quality comic book. If you aren't reading both of those, get over to your local comic shop. Be reading Red Mother and Something Is Killing the Children. They're both excellent, and hopefully they'll be on Netflix soon.
I mean, hey, you sold me James Tynion outside of the DC universe is something that I'd be interested in, and everybody was talking about Something Is Killing the Children. You were talking about it early on, and then other people jumped in our Thinking Critical Discord. They were talking about it too and giving it high and interesting marks. So being that I'm someone who I mean the horror genre is my absolute favorite genre, Wes. I don't know if you know this or not. I am a horror movie aficionado. Ask me any question. I know them all because I've seen them all. That is hyperbole. I don't watch almost any horror at all anymore.
Everyone knows you're Ninny Muffins and you can't handle horror, but neither here nor there.
You're not supposed to call me that name live on video, Wes, or live on stream. Okay. I might be a Ninny Muffin these days. All right. I might not be able to peek. I might have to watch like this, but I really like the way that comic looked. I ended up flipping through it a few times. The art and the imagery is crazy, and it's pretty dark and noir-y. So anytime you got something that's really, really dark, I'm probably down for it. So all right, maybe we found me one where I actually would boot up the old computer and watch me some Boom content on a streaming service. You got me, Wes.
James Tynion is absolutely born to write horror, even more than superhero comics. If you think he's a great superhero writer, go check out his horror stuff because he's way better at that than he is at superheroes, in my opinion. And that's it. It's got to be the answer. All right, Skip. This. I'm glad you're back. It's been a couple weeks, but it's time to sign off. I really appreciate it. I think we had a lot of fun today. I had a great time. I hope you're enjoying your quarantine. Is there anything you need to say before we wrap this up?
Biggest thing is thank you everybody who keeps joining the Discord. We really appreciate it. Continue to come in there and continue the conversation with us in there. Talk about memes, talk about games, obviously talk about comics and share panels that you are checking out. Big shout out also to the people joining us live on stream. We got Epidoxa, we got Lost Sheep. I also saw Lord 3374 in there. We do these live on Twitch, twitch.tv/thinking_critical_YT. And I've been reading comics on there as well. Lots of good conversation in the chat. Currently reading Jonathan Hickman's The Ultimate, so come and check the rest of that out. Other than that, thanks for everybody tuning in. So happy to be back and talk about geek culture with Wes, and we'll be seeing you guys again next week.
Salamapo.
I'm out.